made as small cap indices underperform to end lower for the second straight session. Neeraj joins in with a wrap of all the action on the Lal streak. Neeraj, take us through what's happened today.
Well, it was an expiry day or the penultimate day of the Independence Day and the markets ended flat. You're okay with that. Neither the bulls won nor the bears. The heat map too. Actually, first let's get the Nifty, the bank Nifty and the major indices. As you can see, extremely flat. IT did well, but Nifty Bank didn't do too much at all. And the broader end of the spectrum, this is Nifty IT, of course, up about 1.5%. The broader end of the spectrum, the mid caps and the small caps, about 0.5% lower for the mid cap index, and the small cap index will come up on your screen next, about 0.67%. But if you look at the heat map on the Nifty, it will show you there was independent of gains or losses to, between the winners and the losers. Sure, a couple of more reds, but IT did really well in trade. Top four names being IT. There's some strength in Mahindra and Tata Motors, so selectively autos did okay. What didn't do well, Divi's Lab down 4% on a drug coming in earlier in the market than expected, and therefore a negative for Divi's. Hero MotoCorp, a result reaction. Nothing great in those numbers, and I think that's why the stock did what it did today. And then some of the others, really economy-facing stocks, came down. BSE 500 winners and losers list will show you, I reckon, a clutch of result reactions. So if you look at the losers, for example, Piramal Enterprises on results, HEG on results, NMDC continued result reaction. A bit of a pull back into some of these names which have flown so high that at some point of time they needed to come off. I mean, woods or trees don't grow to the sky. We all know that. And I think some bit of a much desired pullback that is coming into some of these names. Good companies, great order books, etc. But valuations need to be paid heed to. What did do well? Paytm, PB Fintech, and some of the platform names did okay today. There's some strength in Uno Minda today. Metro Brands at the dying moments of trade went up in trade, and not major reactions coming into the HAL or Mazgon Doc on the results. Sure enough, Mazgon probably went up about 2-3% and ended maybe 3% higher. But aside of that, no major reactions that came in. All in all, decent day of trade, nothing too dramatic. But I think we'd take it with both hands. The best thing is that it's a flat close just before Independence Day, and it's a great time to be celebrating our fantastic nation. So let it be a festival of India tomorrow. To you and yours, from all of us at NDTV Profit, a very happy Independence Day.
All right, now, thank you for that, Neeraj. After that, let's hear the view coming in from Macquarie Capital's Aditya Suresh, talking about how India will perform in comparison to its Asian peers going forward.
In terms of an outlook, we are, as a market, set to improve from a 12% ROE outlook towards about a 16% number, which is constructive. Now, the significance of this is as what you were kind of pointing out, which is that I think quality stands out, right? So quality stands out as a support factor, and in particular, as a factor, it really stands out in the event of pullbacks more globally, right? So I think this would be a key characteristic which continues to be in India's favor. When you kind of overlay the fact that you have growth in the market as well, a lot of themes, so on and so forth, this entire quality compounding characteristic for the overall market will again, I think, be a support factor here for us right? Now, just on the premium in itself compared to emerging markets, today is about 300 basis points. By that, what I mean is, if India is at 16%, emerging markets, the expectation is about, say, 13%. That 300 basis points premium in itself is not too dissimilar from history, though. So, whilst it is a support factor, Neeraj, is it an explanatory factor to suggest why India is sitting at 22 times 2-year forward multiples? It's not. So it goes into the mix, but just on growth, just on returns, these are helpful, but they don't really tell you the full story. It still comes back to, at least empirically, when in the note we kind of go through this in detail, is that just in growth, just in returns, just in foreign flows, we can't really defend why, as a market, we should be at these levels. But then when you kind of think about the domestic liquidity piece, it then kind of comes together, and we can kind of, these valuations start to make more sense.
All right, now on to the day's key earnings. Apollo Hospitals came out with a strong set of first quarter earnings, meeting estimates. The healthcare services major reported a net profit increase of 82% to over 300 crore rupees compared to a year ago. Revenue from operations has also increased 15%. EBITDA margins have also improved to 13% compared to the previous year's 11.5%. Apollo Hospital Sunitha Reddy told us that she expected the diagnostics business to show good growth going forward.
Yes, so there is room for improvement, and I think that what we're looking at is, better asset utilization and some compression in cost to deliver better EBITDA margins. And for 24/7, I think the opportunity is huge because post a slightly quiet quarter where we had elections and a heat wave, I think they're ramping up really well. So they will be back on track to 20% growth. And in Apollo Health and Lifestyles, we are seeing diagnostics growing very fast, along with our centers of Cradle and Spectra, which opened in New Delhi, also breaking even.
Now, Hindalco also reported its first quarter earnings. The company witnessed a 25% increase over the previous year in net profit, but still missed estimates. EBITDA too rose more than 31%. Satish Pai, Managing Director at Hindalco Industries, spoke to us on the firm's overall performance in Q1.
So first thing you have to realize is 80% is on a year-on-year basis. If you see sequentially, we have been steadily going up, because our costs have been steadily coming under control as coal prices moderate and carbon prices moderate. So I think that, going forward, to be fair, the LME has come off its highs now. So we are a couple of $100 down compared to the LME of the first quarter. So I think that it's quite clear to me that Q2 profitability will be at a slightly lower level than Q1. Because of the LME. Now, overall, how will the LME behave going forward is very tricky, because it is very much driven by macroeconomic events, geopolitical events, not really supply and demand. So, particular incidents can spike the LME upward. And sometimes, like if poor economic data comes out, the LME goes down. So we are in for some very volatile commodity price market. I think what will hold us in good stead, which you said, is our cost. So if we can keep our costs under control, then we will be producing very good results.
Now, in a setback for mining companies, the Supreme Court has ruled that states can tax mineral rights and mineral-bearing land retrospectively, but this tax is to be paid on transactions that were made after the 1st of April 2005. Sunil Prabhu from NDTV joins us with an overview of the ruling and what it means. Sunil, give us more details of what transpired at court.
Well, as you're well aware, a few days ago, the Supreme Court, in a 9-judgment had unanimously 8 of them, not unanimously, 8 judges, only one judge, that was Justice Nagratna, who argued against it and gave a dissenting judgment. 8 judges had said that royalty is a tax, and that states were well within their powers to do it, and had gone ahead and made it clear. Then, of course, there was from both sides requests for clarity whether it will be done prospectively or retrospectively. And it's in this context that the Supreme Court today, 8 judges, Justice Nagrata has remained silent on that matter because she has already given a dissenting view. 8 judges have said that it will be done prospectively from the date of 1st April 2005, and it will be given by mining companies as well as the center to the state governments. These penalties as well as interest will not be levied on them, but these dues will have to be paid within the period of 12 years. So this is a big setback for mining companies as well as for the center in terms of its powers. State governments now, especially mineral resource states from West Bengal to Jharkhand to Odisha, and the list continues, will be able to get their long-awaited dues. This has been a long and an arduous task for them, fighting for what they believe is their due right when minerals are taken from their state. They need to be able to take and levy that royalty. And it's in that backdrop now that the Supreme Court has said prospectively from 1st April 2005, within a period of 12 years, those payments which are due, no penalties, no interest by state governments on mining companies and others, and this will have to be paid by them.
Right. Sunil, thank you very much for joining us on that. Now, the direct impact of this was seen on metal stocks today. They lost over 21,000 crore rupees in market cap. Mika is joining us with more details on how much metal companies melted. Mika, tell us more, please.
When you talk about the impact, one on the PSU sector, now solicitors had mentioned that the impact could be of 70,000 to 80,000 crores. However, this does include interest and penalties, which the Supreme Court has stated will not be charged. This stands negative for companies like Coal India, Hindustan Zinc, NMDC, Hindustan Copper, MOIL, NALCO, NMDC Steel, as well as Steel Authority of India. When you look at the private players, well, advocates have stated that they expect a demand upwards of 1 lakh crores. Tata Steel has already provided contingent liability of 17,347 crores, and this stands negative for players like Vedanta, Hindalco Industries, JSW Steel, Tata Steel, as well as cement firms like Ultratech, Cement, Shree Cements, ACC, who do have mining operations when it comes to limestone. And lastly, when you talk about who benefits, well, it's the mineral-rich states. Now, this includes Odisha, Jharkhand, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, West Bengal, UP, Assam, and also Delhi.
All right, thank you for that. Now, here's an NDTV Profit exclusive. More hurdles for NSE's IPO approval. Market regulator SEBI has replied to NSE's request for IPO approval, stating that the reason behind the suspension of DRHP review was the co-location scam. Charu joins us with more now. Charu, give us more details about what SEBI has said.
So let's understand the case at first. What happened here is the third entity, People's Activism Forum, went up to the Delhi High Court saying that the SEBI's nod or the approval for the IPO of National Stock Exchange has not come, despite the matter being really old and it originated back in 2016. So please ask the regulator, which is the Security and Exchange Board of India, to at least reconsider the entire process or expedite the entire process. Now, SEBI has come up with its response to an affidavit that was filed by National Stock Exchange before the Delhi High Court in the previous hearing, saying that SEBI can reconsider its IPO approval requirements for National Stock Exchange. Now, SEBI has said, first of all, a third entity, which is the People's Activism Forum, which is not related to the NSE in any capacity, should not be allowed to file a case like this, because it opens the forum for a lot of other third-party entities to just come up to the High Court and say that, look, we are going to be affected by this particular approval, and SEBI should particularly expedite this entity's approval or should deal with this entity's approval in this certain manner, which is something not acceptable by SEBI. Now, coming on to why the hurdles are there for the NSE's IPO approval nod, SEBI has found that there was a ban in 2019 against the National Stock Exchange because of co-location issues, and after that, revival proposals were sent to SEBI in 2019, later half 2020, and replies were filed as late as 2022 and 2024 as well. However, SEBI has seen governance issues, technology-related issues,
yes,
compliance-related issues, and even finally, a new no objection certificate has not been requested by the National Stock Exchange, and that is why SEBI is saying some issues are there. However, more sensitive information about the approval has not been disclosed by the regulator.
All right, Charu, thank you very much for joining us with all those details. Well, will Google's parent firm, Alphabet, be broken into many parts? That's one of the options on the table after a US court found Google guilty of manipulating contracts to seek a search monopoly. Haripriya is joining us with more on this. Haripriya, what does this mean for the search engine and also for its parent entity?
Right. The U.S. Department of Justice is considering breaking up Google after the court ruling found out that the company monopolized the online search market. And this is according to Bloomberg's report. In case this breakup plan gets implemented, Google's Android operating system and web browser Chrome are likely to be the units that would be divested. The report also says that officials are looking to force sale AdWords, which is the company's text advertising platform. Now, this is significant because this would be the first time in a long while US's authority has pushed for a company's breakup. Previously, 2 decades ago, a similar attempt was made for Microsoft, which failed. If not for the breakup, there would be less severe actions taken, which would include forcing Google to share more data with its competitors and have measures to prevent it from having an unfair advantage in its AI products. The government would also put a ban on the type of exclusive contracts that Google signs, which were at the center of this case that was made against the company. After the ruling of the case, Google has said that it will appeal that decision. Right now, the judge has ordered both sides to begin plans for the second phase of the case, which involves this breakup plan, which will be requested for.
All right. Thank you very much, Haripriya, for those details. And salt and sugar makes for an integral part of any diet. But what if these two turn out to be the key reason for illnesses? A recent study by the environmental research agency Toxics Link has revealed that all the sugar and salt brands they tested contain microplastics. The highest concentrations of microplastics were detected in iodized salt, appearing as multicolored thin fibers, films, balls and pellets. These findings raise serious concerns about the quality of food on the supermarket shelves. And we'll be getting you more on that this evening at 6 p.m. So do catch us then. And now it's time for a short break. But on the other side, we bring you updates on the CBI investigation into the Kolkata doctor rape murder case. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now, the top court has stayed the NCLAT order that approved the settlement between the EdTech firm and the BCCI. Varun joins us with more details. Varun, tell us more about what this means for Byju's.
Yeah, hi, thanks. That's right. So in essence, the top court has revived Byju's insolvency process by staying the NCLAT order that approved the settlement between the EdTech firm and the BCCI. Now, not too long ago, the Board of Control for Cricket in India had filed an application for initiating insolvency proceedings against Byju's over unpaid dues to the tune of nearly rupees 158 crores. Earlier this month, the NCLAT approved Byju's settlement with the BCCI, and thereby putting an end to its insolvency process. Now, while staying the order today, the top court remarked that the NCLAT order was unconscionable and that it had to be stayed. This prompted BCCI's counsel to say that the top court was passing the stay order without even giving them an opportunity to put across their stand on this issue. Now, the US-based lenders of Byju's, on the other hand, have contended that Byju's owes them nearly rupees 8,500 crores and that the NCLAT order approving the settlement goes against the provisions of the law. Long story short, Byju's insolvency process stands revived as of now, and the top court will take up the appeal against the NCLAT order on August 23rd. In the meantime, the top court has directed the BCCI to keep the rupees 158 crores it had received from Byju's in a separate escrow account.
All right. Varun, thank you very much for joining us on that. Let's now look at some updates from the startup space. E-scooter maker Ather Energy has turned unicorn after securing 600 crore rupees in funding. Now, the funding has come from India's sovereign wealth fund at a valuation of 10,900 crore rupees. Ather Energy's valuation has doubled in the latest funding round. Ather joins Rapido, Perfios and Kruthrim in India's 2024 unicorn list. And quick commerce major Zepto is set to close another $340 million in fresh investment at an upgraded valuation. This takes the capital the company has raised in the past 2 months to over $1 billion. The company has secured interest from Mars Growth and General Catalyst to invest at a valuation of $5 billion. This marks a 40% hike from its valuation of $3.6 billion. Just 2 months ago, the company aims to expand to 10 new cities this year. And Oyo has reported its first ever profit after tax, coming in at 229 crore rupees for FY24. The profit was aided by reduction in general and administrative spend and optimizing marketing spends. Cost decreased by 13% to 4,500 crore rupees from 5,207 crore rupees. Now, the investigation into the rape and murder of a 31-year-old trainee doctor in Kolkata has been transferred to the CBI following the Calcutta High Court order. The CBI is now focusing on 6 key issues, including evidence destruction and potential hospital administration involvement. Sources indicate that the CBI's investigation will focus on these areas. Was the doctor assaulted by one person or multiple individuals? Was the accused Sanjoy Roy reportedly a civilian police volunteer alone? Was evidence tampered with? Why was the murder initially reported as a suicide? Was the hospital administration involved in any manner? And why were the police only notified the morning after the doctor was killed? The team will also examine mobile phone data to determine who was present at the crime scene, review evidence collected by the state police, and re-record Sanjay's testimony. Well, Army officer Captain Deepak Singh was martyred after an encounter broke out in the Asar area of Jammu and Kashmir's Doda district. The latest terror attack in Jammu region comes a day before Independence Day celebrations. The clash occurred during a cordon and search operation targeting a group of 4 terrorists in the Asar area. Now, as part of the Samarth by Hyundai initiative in partnership with NDTV, we bring you the stories of people who prove that disabilities do not define what they can or cannot do. Dr. Jitendra Agarwal, a visionary leader empowering persons with disabilities, is one such story. Take a look.
I used to be practicing dentist. In 2004, I lost my vision due to iridomacular degeneration. It was like groping in the darkness for me. When I struggled for my livelihood, I realized challenge faced by people with disability in India. Then 2008, we started Sarthak. पहला प्रोग्राम हमारा अर्ली इंटरवेंशन का होता है ताकि उनकी डिसेबिलिटी को मिनिमाइज किया जाए। सेंटर ऑफ एक्सीलेंस फॉर स्किल है जिसमें करीब हम 10 सेक्टर्स की ट्रेनिंग देते हैं इन बच्चों को और उसके जॉब रोल्स करीब 25 हैं। सार्थक का एक विजन है कि विश्व में जितने दिव्यांग लोग हैं वो डिग्निटी और इंटीग्रिटी के साथ जिए। मैं समर्थ हूँ।
Well, that's all we have time for you right now, but we'd like to wish all our viewers with a very happy Independence Day, and we also leave you with vibrant visuals of the nation preparing for its 78th Independence Day. As part of the Har Ghar Tiranga campaign, people uploaded flag selfies to showcase their patriotism. The Prime Minister has encouraged mass participation. He's also stressed on the importance of the flag and the adherence to the flag code of India. Yeah, cool. Tell them, yaar, we're rolling a live show. Is it freezing? Can you tell him to change his connection or something?